Hello everyone, welcome back. We're doing the Cipher secret message box today. This is a premium room. It is easy, so you will need a subscription to access it. But I think it's a pretty fun room, especially if you're new to ciphers and how they work and trying to break them. So let's get down to our task and get started on this room. So down here we see we've got Cipher secret message. Today, one of Cipher's secret messages was recovered from an old system alongside the encryption algorithm, but we are unable to decode it. Order, can you help Void to decode the message? We are given a message, it is encrypted, and we're given the encryption algorithm. And a note down here saying wrap the decoded message with the flag format THM open close curly brackets. If you are not familiar with what you're looking at, this can be kind of a mess. So I'm going to try to go through and break down the different parts, and then we're going to reverse engineer it. First off, when you're dealing with these, when you see this statement right here, that just means, hey, wherever you see the word flag, just know that that's the flag we want you to get. Then we have this function declared here called encrypt. We send it plain text. And if we look right here, there's a message.txt that is going to write the encoded flag too. So what is all this jumble? Well, off the bat, it can look a little complex, and it looks odd because you got your return statement here, right? Usually in a function Python, if you see in the return statements at the end. Basically, this is one giant join statement. If you notice the open parentheses there and the close parentheses there, this is all one giant join statement. So over here, let's get a grasp on what's going on. Now, it's backwards. Remember, this is inside a function, and in Python, you kind of write condition statements in functions backwards from the way you would typically do it. See, typically if you're writing this out, you do your for statement here, put a colon, go down, tab in, put your if statement, put a colon, go to your next line, tab over, and then have this. So for IC in enumerate plain text. So what is enumerate? Well, enumerate's a way to get not only the character from a string, but also its position. So if I come over here, try hack me, I put spaces in between so it's easier to see. But if to run this on the word try hack me, you would get 0 for T, 1 for R, and this would return as a list pair. So you'd get the I first, which is the position, and C, which is the character second. So then it's wanting to know if C is alpha, else C. So what this is saying is if C that we're getting, so in this case say T, is alpha, which means it's an alpha character, A through Z, lowercase or uppercase, we want you to do this statement. If not, then just return C itself. So this basically is saying that any special characters like your underlines or any numbers, we're going to skip the encoding process and just return those directly. And in our encoded message, we do have some numbers and an underscore, so those will be skipped. That's something we gotta keep in mind. So when C is a alpha character, what happens? Well, that's when we do this big string mess. So let's break it down with what's going on. So here we go. I've taken it and I've tier stepped it with the open and close parentheses, so it's a little bit easier to grasp. And so you see our first thing is char. Well, what does char do in Python? I pulled it up here and basically returns a single character string representing the character with specified Unicode. So basically you give it an integer, 65, and it returns character capital A. 97 returns little a. Then we go down 2 steps and we get this ORD C. So remember C, like in our example of try hack me, is a T. So what does ORD T do? Well, ORD in Python does the opposite of char. It returns the number value of a Unicode. So in this case, if you give it the capital A, you get 65. Lowercase a, 97. So basically it's saying take this number and then subtract whatever you get from this equation. So what is this equation? We're taking a value base and we want to set it equal to, if you're not seen this before, it's called the walrus, and I have an explanation up here. Walrus operator enables assigning values to variables within an expression. Pretty useful tool. I didn't know about it for the longest time, but it is helpful. So what are we assigning to base? Well, we want to take the number value of capital A if C, in this case the lowercase t that we have, is upper, which says, hey, is this an uppercase character? Else, we wanted to assign it the number of lowercase a. So in our example, we'll try hack me, the T would result in the lowercase a number being assigned to base. Then you take the number value of C, subtract base from it, and add I, which is the position value of C. Remember that. So this I is our offset. So I is what we're going to need to remove to reverse engineer this, because that's our offset. If you can break it down and find what your offset value is, that's usually the best clue you have, finding what operator you need to flip in order to get back to your original message. So once we get the number off of this is all going to result in a number. We want to mod 26 it. And what does this mean? This means we want to divide it by 26 and we want to keep just the whole number. We don't want any remainders. We want just the whole number portion. And we're going to add back to it what this base value is. And then once we got that number, we want the character it results in. So that's the encryption process here. And if you're still having a hard time grasping it, go back, re-listen to what I'm saying, kind of slow it down, try to walk through it again until you can feel that you have a decent understanding of what's going on here. So how do we reverse engineer this? Well, for a simple cipher like this, it just has one single offset. We really only need to flip the offset. So where we have a plus I, we need to do a minus I. And everything else from there is going to remain the same. So let's take a look at my script. So you see here, we've got the encoded string that we were given. I have deck string for decode string, crack loop, encode string pass, and then we print out the result, right? So what is in this function? Well, first off, I'm going to set up result and set it to an empty list because we're going to append each character that we end up getting to this, and then we use a join statement. As you can see right here in return, we want to join all of that together to get our flag. I'm simply just going to write the same operation out. So we got our for statement here. I see and enumerate encoded string. So first character is going to get passed as an A, second one's going to be an underscore, and so forth. And so C alpha, so you see we're following the same logic that the original encryption did. If C is alpha, so first case, yes, it's going to be an alpha. Second case, no, it's not. Third, fourth, yes. Fifth, no. We want to figure out our base value. So we're doing the exact same statement, assign it the capital A number if the C is upper. And if you look through here, there are a few uppercase letters, so that is important to have. Else assign the lowercase a number. So there's our base. Okay, here, or that's going to be our original character, and that's going to be set to the value of C minus the base we just got minus I. So there's where our operation flip comes in. That's going to remove the offset. And then we take that, mod 26 it, and then add the base back, and that's going to give us our original character. We append it. C is not an alpha, it just appends it automatically. So let's run this code and see what we get. All right, there you go. There's your flag. So overall, it was a pretty easy box if you understand how to reverse engineer simple ciphers. Again, if you are new to this, it can be a little confusing. There's a lot of parts to this. There's a lot of things that look odd. You may not understand what each operator is or what each symbol is, and that's fine. If you come across these type of challenges, take your time. Don't feel rushed that you got to do it in 10, 15 minutes or whatever. Take your time to try to actually understand what's going on. And if you need to, Try Hack Me has a Discord. Hop on there. There are channels that you can reach out for help and guidance, and there are plenty of people who will be willing to respond. Sometimes I'm on there as well, and every now and then I try to help out when I can, but don't go there and ask for answers. You will most likely end up getting kicked off the Discord server if you're just asking for answers. But it's a great place to go for help if you really need it, especially for some of these older boxes and if you're brand new. So with that, hope you've had a great day. Wish you the best for the next week, and I'll see you next time.